Wednesday again, it's our drawing tutorial time. This week I thought we'd do something that takes less time. The tutorials I've been doing, I've been taking 5 and 6 hours. So we're trying to reduce on that so you've got the time and I've got the time and we can still enjoy this creativity and this learning process. So today we're going to learn how to draw a feather. So remember to get your images, so you've got reference there to work from. I'm going to start a few images. Look at this one here. If we look at the shape of this, okay, it's got a bit of a bend there in the inside, then the stem of the feather. So if we do that first, and I've just got a HB here, and then from there, if we look at this shape around it, you see it tapers. It's a bit narrower here and it goes to this sort of semicircle type shape. So again, put your guidelines in. Okay, I'm going to put that sort of semicircle shape in first. And again, if you look at the symmetry of this, not always the case, but with this one, you've got an equal amount of feathers on each side, so give yourself the guidelines. First of all, when you've got those in, so again, I'm using the side of my pencil. On the side. Doing this quite light so I can rub out these lines later. Then from that, if you see how the feathers, got a few here as well. They're not always together, they'll tend to separate. These are flight feathers. So the down's at the bottom there, but these here is quite tight. This one has come apart a little bit, and so is this one. We can see there, so you've got the tones, it's quite light. If you think about it being darker on the inside, you won't go far wrong. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn that page slightly. I'm just going to use that as reference and think, where's my going to go and separate. Quite elegant. And keep these lines in the same direction. So you get to where the down is, it sort of alters slightly and goes a little bit more fluffy around here. So the same on this side. Just think, where do you want your feather to separate? And then once you've got this in place, I'm going to rub out the excess lines. That we no longer need, the guidelines that we don't need. And we're going to work on the tonage part of it. I'm hoping, well, one, I've got the wobbling rectified. I've now got the stand on a chair. not on the table. And also, I noticed with the other videos, the light source wasn't the best. You know, 'cause it's a learning program for all of us doing this in this way, for learning via the web, via videos. So now you can have a look and think, am I quite happy with that? Remember to move it around, got all the different angles, and I'm just going to alter that section. If your rubber's dirty, a little bit of a tip, don't do this on an expensive table. If you rub it, so I'm rubbing this on the table, it'll rub away the lead, so it's not dirty on your page. So the lead's there on the table, I'll wipe that up later. So once you get to this stage, okay, I'm going to give you some time to get to this stage, about 20 minutes or so, it shouldn't take you too long, and then we're going to work on the tonage, we're going to work on creating some depth. So now you should have something that resembles this. I've darkened the lines with a H pencil. The reason I've used a H is because I want a fine tip. So make sure, don't do this with a B. If you've got a H, please use a H. And then you can use sticking out your stem. So from that line, parallel, work up, creating a thicker stem. It tapers off slightly when you get to the top. Okay, just want to rectify that little bit there. Slightly on along. Remember, this is live. That's better. And then on the opposite side, I'm going to have the light source on the outer side, but also we need some light source on the stem. So I'm going to darken, and all I need to just apply more pressure. Not change my pencil for this, because I still want a fine end, fine tip. My fingers are close to the tip because I want the control. I don't want to be free on this. And I'm moving the book along, sketchbook along, to make it easy for myself. And when I get to this part now, I'm going to go very, very gently. There we go. So now I'm going to start forming the feathers into place. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm not going to go from here right the way down. I'm going to section it out a bit at a time. Again, follow the angle of the feathers. The same. On this side. And here, see how I put the lines in already? Do it again. And so forth. So I'm going to give you a bit of time. Bit of a wonk again. To put your feathers into place, and then we're going to work on the shading. If you look, the bottom part there, you can see why I formed the down. You know, the fluffy part of the bird where it's not created a flight feather. You'll get some twists and turns with these. Okay, so I'll give you some time to work on that, and we'll work on shading. So we've sectioned the feathers off, and now I'm going to do each intricate line for each feather. So within these sections. You can see how I've started there. So I'm going to show you on this one. And then I'm going to apply pressure to create a darker line. Okay, turn around it on this one the same. Remember to section off, just to make it easy for yourself, and you can see how many you can fit in each one. Remember your fingers close to the end of the pencil, so you've got control. A section there, so then, and then, darken it again. When you get to the ends, if you then curve it round, so it's not a high straight line. I'll put that way up. So you can see there, I've worked on this side. Depending on how confident you are, the quicker you can go with this. Very effective at the end of it. Curl the edges around there. And then I'll do this. And I'll leave you to carry on putting your individual feathers in. Quite tribal feathers, aren't they? So about 20 minutes, I'd say, put these lines in, and then we'll come to the final stage. So as you can see, I've been now working on the shading within the feather, starting from the centre, working outwards. So if you, again, I've got a fine pencil, and all I'm doing there is bringing some shading in the centre, but then where each feather is, exaggerating on that. Remember not to fill in the parts that are separate. If you want to add another one, feel free. You might have to sharpen your pencil a few times during this process. You do want that, because it's so fine, so intricate, you do need a fine point on your pencil. So I'm going to carry on with this. Shouldn't take too long now. And then we'll bring some highlights into it too. Remember, like I said before, turn your page whichever suits to how you're working. Some people can draw in the same position right the way through. I find that difficult with being a left-hander. Remember to keep those feathers separate. For 10 minutes or so, and this part will be done. So now I've got to a stage where lots of the shading's in here now. I'm just going to roll up the stem a little just to create some more tonage. Still should be able to see each feather there. Need to exaggerate this area slightly as well, the down. Scrumble in there to give an appearance of down. It's a little darker. So we can see we've got the tonage running through. And you can work on this a little more if you like. I'm going to bring this to the end now. Turn that round again. Another quick check through, and this I'm using still a H. For the shading, general shading, you can use a 2B. It's nice and soft, not too dark. You'll still be able to see each feather line through that. Just going to bring a bit of a light source in here. And there we have it. Can't wait to see yours next week. It's been, at least we've had no wobbling this week, and also the bright lights. I'm in the studio now. So, hope you enjoy it.